Sweeping aerial shots of the Mongolian steppes, wind sweeping through grass, dramatic music swelling. In the vast Mongolian steppes where the horizon stretches endlessly, one man rose from obscurity to forge the largest empire in history. His name was Temüjin, but the world knows him as Genghis Khan, a warrior, a unifier, a conqueror whose legacy echoes through time. Who was Genghis Khan? Let's uncover the epic story of the man who reshaped the world in this 2025 history documentary. Around 1162, Temüjin was born into a world of tribal warfare and relentless hardship. The Mongolian steppes were unforgiving, where nomadic tribes clashed for survival in a land of brutal winters and constant conflict. Temüjin's father, Yasugei, led the Borjigin clan, but his status offered little safety in a world ruled by betrayal. Maps showing Mongol tribes interspersed with reenactments of tribal skirmishes. At 9, Temüjin's life shattered. His father was poisoned by the rival Tatar tribe, leaving his family abandoned by their clan. Temüjin, his mother Holin, and his siblings faced exile and starvation. In these early years, Temüjin learned that trust was scarce, and survival demanded resilience. Even as a boy, Temüjin showed extraordinary resolve. The secret history of the Mongols, written decades after his death, describes him as sharp-witted and fiercely determined. He forged a bond with Jamuka, a young boy from another tribe, swearing an oath of brotherhood, a bond that would later turn into a legendary rivalry. Reenactment of Temüjin's capture by the Temüjin tribe. Chained and humiliated, Temüjin's youth was marked by betrayal. At around 16, he was enslaved by the Temüjin, a rival tribe. Yet, his spirit remained unbroken. Escaping captivity, he returned to his family, determined to reclaim his birthright. Soon after, he married Berthe, his childhood love, a union that grounded his ambitions. Wedding scene, followed by a dramatic reenactment of Berthe's kidnapping by the Merkit tribe. But peace was fleeting. The Merkit tribe kidnapped Berthe to humiliate Temüjin. With allies Togrul of the Kurit tribe and his blood brother Jamuka, Temüjin launched a daring rescue. This victory marked him as a leader who would protect his own at all costs. Temüjin rallying warriors, strategizing around a fire. Temüjin's genius lay in his ability to unite. Breaking with tradition, he rewarded loyalty over lineage, building an army of devoted followers. He organized them into units of 10, 100, and 1,000, ensuring discipline and mobility. By his late 20s, Temüjin was no longer a survivor. He was a leader with a vision. Young Temüjin standing defiantly on a hill, wind in his hair. Maps showing Temüjin's unification of Mongol tribes with battle reenactments. Yet power bred rivalry. His bond with Jamuka soured, turning brother against brother. Their clash over leadership culminated in battles where Temüjin's strategic brilliance prevailed. By 1206, after defeating Jamuka and other rivals, Temüjin was proclaimed Genghis Khan, universal ruler, at a grand assembly of Mongol tribes. Mongol armies charging across the steppes, cities burning in the distance. With the Mongol tribes united, Genghis Khan set his sights beyond the steppes. His empire would span from the Pacific to the Caspian Sea, encompassing modern-day China, Persia, and parts of Eastern Europe. His success came from revolutionary warfare. Diagrams of Mongol tactics, showing feigned retreats and encirclement strategies. Genghis Khan's armies were unmatched in speed and strategy. Mounted on swift horses, they struck with precision, using psychological warfare to instill fear. Cities that resisted were razed, but those that surrendered were often spared, their people absorbed into the empire. Reenactment of the siege of Zhengdu, modern Beijing, with catapults and cavalry. In 1215, Genghis Khan conquered Zhengdu, capital of the Jin dynasty, mastering siege tactics from settled civilizations. His ambitions grew westward in 1219, targeting the Khwarezmian Empire after its ruler, Shah Muhammad, insulted him by killing Mongol envoys. Maps of the Mongol invasion of Central Asia, with dramatic battle scenes. The Khwarezmian campaign was relentless. Cities like Bukhara and Samarkand fell, their populations decimated or enslaved. Yet, Genghis Khan's pragmatism shone through. He spared artisans and scholars, using their skills to strengthen his empire. His rule balanced terror with tolerance. An older Genghis Khan gazing over his empire, surrounded by his sons and generals. By 1227, Genghis Khan's empire was vast, but his health faltered. During a campaign against the Tangut kingdom, he fell ill and died. His burial site remains a mystery, hidden by his followers to protect his eternal rest. Scenes of Mongol legacy, trade routes, cultural exchanges, and the Pax Mongolica. Genghis Khan was more than a conqueror. His empire connected east and west, fostering trade along the Silk Road and spreading technologies like gunpowder. The Pax Mongolica brought relative peace, enabling cultural exchange. Yet his conquests left millions dead, reshaping entire regions. Modern Mongolia, with statues of Genghis Khan and people honoring his memory. Today, Genghis Khan is Mongolia's hero, a symbol of unity and strength. Elsewhere, his name evokes fear and destruction. Was he a tyrant or a visionary? Perhaps both. A man forged by his time, who forged history in return. Sunset over the steppes, a lone horseman riding into the distance. Genghis Khan's story is one of survival, ambition, and transformation. From a boy in exile to the ruler of an empire, his life reminds us that history is shaped by vision as much as strength. This is the legacy of Genghis Khan, eternal, like the steppes he called home.